The boarding gate was buzzing with rolling suitcases, overhead announcements, and the sharp smell of coffee when the noise suddenly fractured. A heavy-set white woman stepped sideways, her arm slamming across the aisle to block a teenager. Her voice cracked like a whip. "You don't belong here. Step back." 16-year-old Amara Johnson froze. The boarding pass in her fist crumpled as she tightened her grip. Printed in bold was Seat 3A, First Class. Her stomach churned, but her chin lifted. Passengers shifted, some pretending to check their phones, others sneaking glances. A few raised cameras quietly. Amara's voice came out small but steady. "Excuse me, this is my seat." The woman laughed, harsh and mocking, bracelets jangling. "Your seat? In first class? Sweetheart, you're in the wrong world." Gasps rippled. Amara's eyes glistened, but she refused to look away. The gate agent hurried forward, clipboard clutched tight as if it were a shield. "Ma'am, let me check your ticket." The woman puffed out her chest and slapped her boarding pass into the agent's hand. "There. Look. It's mine." The agent scanned quickly, eyebrows knitting. "This says 19D, economy." Murmurs spread. A young boy whispered to his father, "19's way back there." His father shook his head but said nothing. Amara drew a breath and offered her own boarding pass, her voice shaking but determined. "Seat 3A. Window." The agent nodded, confirming. "This is correct." Instead of stepping aside, the woman's face darkened. Her words came out in a staccato rhythm, each syllable coated in disdain. "Fraud. Liar. Pretender." She leaned in, her perfume suffocating. "Who paid for this, huh? Not you. People like you don't earn seats like that." A few passengers gasped, one woman muttered, "That's crossing the line." But no one intervened. Amara tried to step forward. In an instant, the heavy-set woman's thick hand shot out, seizing Amara's jacket collar and yanking her forward. The girl stumbled, her boarding pass slipping to the floor. Gasps erupted. A man called out, "Hey! That's assault." Phones shot up higher, recording every second. Amara's chest tightened against the grip, the fabric pressing into her throat. Her hands clawed instinctively at the woman's fingers, but she forced her voice out, raw yet firm. "Let me go." The woman smirked, eyes gleaming with spite. "Not until you admit you don't belong. Say it." Tears pricked Amara's eyes, not from fear but fury. She stared back, breath trembling, her silence louder than any words she could give. The gate had become a stage, every onlooker unwilling witness to cruelty unfolding in plain sight. "Security! Over here," one of the gate agents shouted, panic lacing her voice. Two officers rushed in, neon vests cutting through the crowd. Phones tilted, capturing every angle of the heavy-set woman gripping Amara's collar like a prize she'd snatched. The woman barked, "She's a fraud. Stop her before she sneaks on." Her face flushed crimson, spit flying with each word. One officer moved to separate them, but a new voice rang out. Calm. Low. Icy. "Let her go. Now." The crowd shifted, making way for a tall black man in a charcoal suit. His jaw was set, eyes unblinking. With deliberate precision, he pulled a badge from his jacket and held it high. The gold glint cut through the fluorescent light. Marcus Johnson. FBI. The entire gate froze. The woman's hand twitched, grip faltering, but she tightened it once more in defiance. "I don't care who you are. This brat doesn't belong here." Marcus took one slow step closer, voice steady as steel. "That's my daughter you're holding. If you don't release her this second, the next set of cuffs won't be for her." A hush fell over the gate. Even the security officers hesitated, their eyes darting between the furious woman and the unmistakable authority in Marcus's tone. Passengers leaned forward, breath caught. The power had shifted, but no one yet knew how far this confrontation would go. Before the woman could spit another word, a firm, measured voice rose from the waiting area. "That's enough." Every head turned. An older woman with silver hair and a sharp gaze stepped forward, her heels clicking against the tile. She carried herself with quiet authority, not rushed, not timid. "My name is Helen Grant," she announced evenly. "And I know exactly who this young lady is." She pointed at Amara, still catching her breath, collar wrinkled from the grip. "She is Amara Johnson, the daughter of the very agent who exposed one of the most corrupt corporate schemes I once worked under." The crowd stirred. Someone whispered, "She knows them." Helen reached into her handbag and pulled out a small flash drive, holding it high. "I walked away from that company when I discovered their campaign against young entrepreneurs of color. And I've kept proof." The woman's bravado cracked, her fingers slipping off Amara's jacket completely. Silence weighed heavy. Phones recorded. The truth was shifting the room's gravity. Amara slid into seat 3A at last, her jacket collar rumpled and red from the grip that had dragged her dignity through the dirt. Marcus sat beside her, his hand resting gently on her shoulder. The heavy-set woman was escorted away, her furious protests drowned beneath the whispers of disgust and the steady click of cameras. One passenger murmured, "She grabbed a kid's collar," in front of everyone. Another shook his head, muttering, "Unbelievable." Amara turned to her father, her voice breaking. "Why do they always try to make me feel small?" Marcus met her gaze, eyes unwavering. "Because you remind them that their prejudice can't erase your worth. Never forget that." From across the aisle, Helen gave a solemn nod. "Child, she may have taken your collar, but she never touched your dignity." Amara straightened in her seat, the sting on her neck still burning. Yet inside, a quiet fire now burned brighter.